What's up, everyone? Elise and Josh here. We are back again today for a series of epigenetics. And today we're going to be talking about our learnings and our insight and hopefully help you understand a little bit more as we go along with our study as well. One of the topics today is, for yourself, have you ever thought about, certain traits or illnesses that run through the family, yet, like cancer or diabetes, yet, it's not present in everybody? And what we're going to do is dive a little bit deeper in that today into the fascinating world of epigenetics as we explore phenotypes, genotypes, and how they define us. So, Josh?
Yeah, awesome. So I guess I'll touch base quickly on yesterday. So yesterday we kind of talked about, your DNA, the genes within the DNA, and then also the epigenetic factor, which is the world around you. And the next thing to touch on that involves all that is the phenotype. Now, what we learned about the phenotype is you. It's all your reactions to the world, it's all the things that happen to you, and then it's how your body actually responds to the environment. So we said environment was part of the epigenetics, and then how your genes respond, either turn on or off, are responsible for the interaction between both. So it's really important to understand that, everyone is slightly different in these factors. We talked about me and Elise being brother and sister yesterday. Certain things that are going to happen in my body, according to the world around me, won't necessarily happen to Elise's body as well. So once we kind of understand that you're the phenotype, you can almost, it's funny, they say never read a book by its cover, but in this phenotype world, in this understanding PH 360, you can gather a lot of information from how someone looks. And that's because your phenotype has responded to the environment around you. Now, it doesn't always mean it's a good thing. And Elise, can you give an example of where your body responds to the environment and it may not always be a good thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess in terms of think about stress, if we were to say where, think about the caveman days, stress was really important for us to, if something was attacking us, to put us on high alert and be able to run and escape and get out of that. And obviously then you find a state where, you came back down and hormones settled and you're in a safe spot. But with stress being prolonged, it's actually not a great state for certain health types and can have quite a ongoing effect and could bring on diseases or some health issues as well. So just a little example.
Yeah, perfect. So, I mean, the whole idea is for it to create that survival sort of mechanism in your body because humans are one of the most adaptable creatures on Earth. We've survived, hundreds of thousands of years by adapting to our environments, getting smarter, reacting to what's happened to us. So, as Elise said, stress was an important thing to overcome, and we still have it every day. We're just learning how our body responds better and then how we can work with that. So, Elise, we've kind of gone over like the sort of hardest things for people to kind of understand if they've never been introduced to these things. So we really want to make sure that people do understand what we're talking about. And the main two things, the genotype and the phenotype. So be able to give a little bit of analogy to help people understand what's going on and how to understand it better.
Yeah, so I guess it is important to know the difference between both. So to kind of give a simple analogy, PH 360 kind of refer to is imagine that you find a ruins of a palace and you'd like to renovate it back to its former glory. And it might be very run down, missing walls. You look up, there's no ceiling, no furniture, gaping holes, in the flooring. So you looking at the building, what its phenotype is, which is its current state. And you want to renovate it back to its original beauty and function. And you need to know what it looked like before, which is the blueprint, which is the genotype. So by having the phenotype to start with, like the ruined palace, you're able to look back at the blueprint and make sure that you can see what its best state was when it goes back to that original plan. So it's kind of like our health types as well, when we're stressed out or a little bit chaotic, and then it's taking that step back to go, okay, hang on, for my blueprint, what can I do to get back into that and that best state that I was in?
Yeah, awesome. So I guess another way to put it is like if you only knew your genotype, which is like the parts of the DNA, you would only have the advice you would give would be relative to that And that doesn't take into consideration the current state of your body, like Elise said, the ruins. And if you only had the phenotypes, which is like the ruins, you wouldn't know its true potential, which it has inside the genes. So making sure you know, understand where to start with the phenotype to get it back to its former glory, really make sure that we're offering the greatest advice to make sure we're helping the right person. And I guess with that, sometimes when people look at people or give health advice to people, we use these health markers, but in actual fact, for some health types that we'll talk about in the future, certain things like waist circumference versus hip ratio, tend to be different for each individual. We'll talk about mesomorph, endomorph, and ectomorph in the future, but they're just things to keep in mind and why it's really important for us to make sure we kind of tailor some advice towards those type of people. And yeah, that's pretty much what we've learned today, and we'd love to share with you a little bit more coming up. So if you could, same thing, like, comment, let us know if you're finding this interesting so we can keep going. But otherwise, this is a fantastic direction for us to head. And I'm super excited to learn more about it and help more people change their lives with precision health.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.